Hello everyone. Today we're going to look at another one of my new Bento avatars here, my Cobra. And originally this Cobra was made using the old Second Life skeleton, and I really didn't have enough bones to really make him move like a snake very well. So it's one of the first the third avatar I'm releasing in my Bento series of avatars. And I'm pretty happy with how he came out. Of course, he has speech gestures, so you can see his jaw moving as I speak, and his face is kind of moving a little bit too as I talk. And of course, his head moves with the mouse. I like to do that with my avatars. And you can see his tongue flickering. I'm going to need to turn off my voice for a second there, so you can see his tongue flickers quite a bit. He cycles through a few different stand animations too. And here I want to show off the skeleton a little bit here. Here's a look at the skeleton. I'm actually using two skeletons with this. I originally made the snake for the Unity game engine, so I had my own skeleton form. I had made my own skeleton form anyways. So this is the original skeleton that I made for him, and what I've done here is I've attached the Bento skeleton to that other Unity skeleton, and as you can see here, all the bones that kind of make up his face also. So there's a quick look at his skeleton and how it works, and there's a few extra stray bones here, but there's quite a few bones that make up the length of his body. So let's go back into Second Life and take a look at how he moves around here. So I'm looking at him from the front view, so this is not how you're normally going to walk around Second Life, but here, now I'll do it from the other view. And there was the walk, here's the run, and of course I have a jump animation, and as we turn around here, there's his crouch. As you press the crouch button, the page down, he'll rise up like that. Of course, there's turning animations. And what else do we have here? He can also sit on things. Oh, let me go the other way. So I can... Oh, we're getting a little bit of lag here. There we go. Okay, so I can sit here, and when he sits on the ground, he'll coil up like this. And of course, even sitting on the ground, all of my speech gestures and everything still work, and all of the buttons on the HUD work. And he can also sit almost properly in a chair, so let's take a look. I have to go quickly here. Let me see. Fine, let me find a chair I can sit in. So here's just a normal chair, and I can sit right in that chair pretty nicely. And let's see here. What else do we have? Of course, I can fly in Second Life, right? So there's a look, and right now I'm looking at him from the front view. This would normally be how you would look at your avatar. And he flies through the air, and of course there's a falling animation. He falls to the ground. Let me get back over here by the light. And as with all of my avatars, he comes with a very detailed bump map. So if you look at his skin, here, let me get in front view because then I can spin around. He has a very detailed bump map and texture. It looks like actual scales. And it also has a specular map, so his eyes are very shiny, his tongue's shiny and everything. If I turn off my speech gestures, you can see his tongue is usually flickering. There's a few different stand animations. And off to the right here, we have the HUD. And what cobra? It wouldn't be a cobra without flexing his hood, right? And you can use these hood animations however you want. If you want him to stay flexed like that, you can just leave the hood 3 on or hood 2 on, whatever you like. And there's always a stop option in the HUD there. Well, before we go to the body animations, if I click the head, we have some expressions. So here's a sad one. I don't think that triggered. Here we go. Where he's a little bit sad. It's not easy to make expressions for a snake. And here's a happy one. He's more happy. We have a wow. He's kind of saying wow. We have the tongue in, where his tongue is never out. It'll always stay in. So you could set it like that if that's what you want. Or if you want his tongue flickering all the time. I don't know why that didn't trigger. There we go. Tongue will flicker like that all the time. And there's a mad animation with a sound. Oops, I triggered. Of course, there is a typing animation, so his jaw moves as you're typing. What else here? We have a strike animation. You have to have a strike animation, right? I don't know why that didn't trigger. There we go. Alright, there's a trigger. There's a striking animation. And this also has a random feature where he kind of randomly changes his expressions, and he'll like randomly hiss. Hopefully that triggers. It's random, so there we go. He hisses just randomly. And there's always a stop option to turn off whatever animations you were playing in the HUD. We have a coiled up animation, and all of these animations, everything still works. So the jaw will still use the speech gestures and everything. If I type in chat, oops, can't see him. If I type in chat, his jaw will move like he's talking. And what other animations do we have here? We have a coiled stand 1. Of course, my chat is getting in the way of seeing him. Not good. I should have done that last, huh? So I also have a coiled 2. In coiled 2, he just stands up a little bit higher. And I also have a sitting animation that's similar to the one in the chair, but you might not have an option to sit somewhere, but you still want that pose. And of course, like I said, everything still works even in these animations, even with these animations playing. And like I said, there's always a stop option. I also put a strike animation in there just in case you want to trigger it from that button. And just like the other Bento avatars, you can also, let me see here, you can also, I'm going to use some shapes from the elephant. So these are body shapes. So how you make your shape also affects how the cobra looks. So you can adjust. I'm not going to go through all the different shape sliders that you can use to change the Cobra, but that's a quick look at how the shape sliders work. So that's a big shape with all the settings to kind of a bigger setting on the slider. There's a smaller one. One of the options in shape is to adjust your height. So on this one, I don't have my height adjusted. You would need to, I can do it real quick, I guess. So let's adjust our height so we're not underneath the ground. And so yeah, let's, not that one. Hover height we want. So maybe like that, and save it. And then log out. And there we go. And there's always going to be some weirdness when you change the shape, as you can see with this one. But you just have to play with your sliders to make things look the way you want it. Let's go back to the original shape. But you know, you can play with your shape sliders and everything pretty much still works. But that's a quick look at my Cobra. Have a good one, everyone.